Hey everybody, you know what time it is. It is Sipping with Sue time. Welcome back. We have just rolled into a brand new year. Happy 2024. And I hope it has been an amazing one so far. Every new year, as you know, like everybody's got fitness goals, new year, new year, real you, whatever you want to say, do, or whatever. But every year I like to just bring in some fitness folks, fitness gurus to kick off the year. So tonight's guest is a kettlebell guru that takes strength training to the next level. So please welcome Nikki Veit. Nikki, how are you?
Hello, I'm very good. I'm very good. How are you doing?
Cheers. I'm
Yes, cheers.
fantastic. It is Friday, so we're at the end of the week. So chatting with
Yes.
real people doing real things extraordinarily. And I've been gone for a while, so I've been traveling around the world. So people have been watching my restreams instead of me. So now are you drinking water?
I just poured a White Claw.
Oh, I'm like, that is very clear.
It's very clear White Claw. All
So
all our
cheers.
beer was left in a refrigerator that now is going bad, so I had to make a last
Oh,
minute change of plans.
gotcha. Okay. Well, I've got my trusty Prosecco. For the folks that know me, it's either red wine or
Oh,
Prosecco.
nice.
Sometimes I get
Very
a
nice.
little, yeah, sometimes I get a little froggy and I'm like, oh, let me try some mixed drinks or try my hand at some mixed drinks or whatever. But it's all good. So cheers to the weekend, you guys. We are chatting with real people doing real things extraordinarily. And so you are the owner of Kettlebell Clubhouse. Is that right?
Yes, yes, ma'am. I'm the
Yes.
owner,
Mhm.
sole operator, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So, just so that folks can get acquainted with you, can you just give us a little bit of background on yourself?
Absolutely. So, wow, I've been coaching clients since 2015. And I would say, like, yeah, that's my career. That's what I've been doing. But funny enough, I actually originally went to college to study theater. So my background is originally in theater. I know some people are shocked by it, and then other people are like, "Yeah, I could see that in your personality." Um, but, born and raised New York, went to school for theater. I moved to Chicago to pursue a career in theater, but
Mhm.
I don't know. The gym bug bit. Like, I just started going to the gym and that's all I wanted to do. And so, something about that, like, first being motivated to work out myself and see progress in the gym, that led to me wanting to coach people. So, it's almost been 10 years now since I started coaching folks, and then that turned into a passion for kettlebells and specifically working with women and getting them stronger. But yeah, it's wild to think, like, the snapshot, the big picture. I don't think 15, 20 years ago would I have seen myself here today.
You saw yourself on a stage
Yeah,
or
yeah,
on a TV,
seriously. Right.
right? Yeah, so
Acting,
I'm gonna
directing, writing.
yeah, I'm gonna back it up just a little bit because I had no idea we had some New York brethren in the house. So, what part of New York?
Oh, okay. I'm from Westchester, New York, so it's a very
So,
specific.
oh yeah. So, do you know where Oakdale is?
Yes, I sure do. Is that where
So
you're from? Are
yeah,
you there
yeah,
right
that's where
now?
I was. No, I'm not there. So I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and Nikki, you're in Memphis,
I'm in
correct?
Memphis, Tennessee. Yep.
So you're in Memphis, and then I got to give a shout out. Hi, Michelle. So you're in
Hi, Michelle.
Memphis, but you were in. So I'm born and raised in New York. So now I'm in San Antonio. I had a whole military career. I decided
Yeah.
to stay in Texas after my last duty assignment. So yeah, that's where I stayed. But yeah, born and raised in New York.
I think it's interesting, those of us born and raised in New York who now live in the South, right? Because I don't
Mm-hmm.
know about you, but I never thought, like, oh, the South is a place I'll end up to live or anything. Like, I just always thought, not that I thought I'd stay in New York, because I like New York a lot, but I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's so expensive and there's so many reasons I left at the time. But
Yeah.
I still am proud to be from the state of New York, for sure.
Oh, we have the best pizza. There's like hands down, like nobody
Yeah.
bagels,
Yes.
donuts, pizza.
Yes. Some of the
That's
best
it.
food, and I think it's just beautiful. Like, there's so much. There's not just the city, not
Hmm.
just the state. It's a lot
There's
to it.
upstate. There's upstate, which is like the country. Then there's New York City, which is the city, and then there's Long Island, which is like a little frou frou and a little bit in the
Yeah.
middle ground. But it's like it's
Right.
fun. So yeah, lots of stuff going on. That is hilarious. Literally yesterday, we were talking about Entenmann's.
Oh yeah,
Do you remember?
absolutely. Entenmann's. Is that not a thing elsewhere? I didn't
I
even
don't think
realize
so.
that.
No, I don't think it is. It's kind of like
Interesting.
tasty cake. It's only like a East Coast thing, but I
Sure.
mean, I think it's gone out to other places, but growing up and all that stuff. So this is so much fun. I'm so excited. So all right, so we're gonna get right into it. We're not gonna talk about cake anymore or Entenmann's or those kind of things. We're gonna get into strength training and fitness. So um, I have a kettlebell, just one.
Yes, as you
But
should.
I'm usually slinging around regular dumbbells, right? So,
Yeah.
so tell us a
Yeah.
little bit of how you got into kettlebell training specifically.
Gosh, that is a question that I almost forget the answer to when people ask because I'm like, I've been doing it forever. You know what I mean? Like, I can't remember the first time, but it was actually before I even started coaching clients. I just remember going to this small boutique gym in Andersonville in Chicago.
Mhm.
And there was this one instructor who he taught the TRX and the kettlebells. And I think he was also like involved with military or something because I think there was a reason he was only there temporarily. And he
Mhm.
showed some of the best workouts, movements, like skills that I had never seen before. And he was so excited and passionate about it. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm kind of excited to work out because of your excitement to coach the kettlebell.
Mhm.
And I just remember doing like workouts that involved so many movements with one piece of equipment, literally one kettlebell. And
Mhm.
I was so sore for days, and it just left that impression on me of like, wow, I want to learn more about that little weird tool in the gym.
Definitely, definitely. Shout out to Catherine. How are you?
Yes,
So,
hi,
what are the
Catherine.
benefits? Or so we can we can use dumbbells. We can use machines. We can use all these different things. I know you do barbell training also, but we know that you're the kettlebell queen. So,
Yes.
what are the benefits, but also the differences between using the kettlebell and using kettlebell for training?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think a lot of it when it comes down to just comparing the nuts and bolts of what a dumbbell is, what a barbell is, what a kettlebell is, I look at a kettlebell, I think instantly it's portable, right? It literally has a handle built into it for carrying. Is how I think of
Mhm.
it. And not to say a dumbbell isn't portable, but a barbell becomes less portable. They're long, they're 35, 45 pounds each. They don't fit in a car so easy. Okay, so portability. But then when it comes to a kettlebell, the actual bell shape of it provides this kind of aerodynamic gosh, there's another word, ergonomic design. And that's
Mhm.
where kettlebell swings really became popular. I have been to classes at an Orange Theory or something where they've made people swing dumbbells, and I'm not crazy about that. I'm
Mhm.
not saying it's not done, but there's a difference that the kettlebell has this shape, it has this handle, and then the weight is attached to it. You don't hold it like a dumbbell that has the weight evenly distributed. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love dumbbells for a time and place, and I do love barbells, as you mentioned. But kettlebells, the fact that I can swing it, I can press it, I can squat it, I can put it literally in my back seat of my car and put a buckle through the handle so it's not flimsying around while I'm driving. That's what really, really struck me instantly, the portability, the accessibility of it. And honestly, the last thing I'd say is like, for instance, I can't tell you how many clients I've come, they're like, I want to lose weight, but I hate running, right? Like they just associate cardio equals a way to
Mhm.
lose weight equals running. And I'm here
Especially
to tell
especially
you,
with females, right? Especially with
yes,
females, because they shy away from anything that has to do with strength training, right?
I know, and it breaks my heart. Like, I think women
Right.
are like, "Oh, I need to get smaller. I need to take up less space." And,
Mhm.
everyone's got their own body image and not to invalidate that, if you feel like you need to take up less space or more space, but I found with a kettlebell, I can make people do swings, for instance, and I can get their heart rate skyrocketing and it feels like they're jumping, but their feet are not leaving the ground. So
Mhm.
people with previous back or knee injuries, or I've used it with pregnant women, I've used it with all sorts of different people. And very high success rate with a very low injury rate. So, boom. If you want cardio, some people call it iron cardio, the idea of like doing
Mhm.
cardio with a piece of iron. And I love that because I agree. It's a sneaky way to get some people using resistance without them thinking, oh, I'm just lifting weights, you know?
Mhm.
So, yeah, I could keep going on about the kettlebell. I have a kettlebell tattoo. I love it so much,
Oh my goodness. Like I said,
I'm
Kettlebell
in it to
Queen.
win
Oh
it.
my
Yes,
goodness.
ma'am.
So what about so I want to go back to the ergonomic part of the kettlebell.
Mhm.
So when we're out there working out, is it something that's probably better for people with maybe wrist issues and stuff like that? Is that something that works for them better than an actual
Ooh,
dumbbell?
I yes and no, because I won't lie, when you're racking a kettlebell on
Mhm.
your forearm, like talking about the ergonomic design, the weight is suddenly behind and below your wrist, and that's why I
Mhm.
got this kettlebell here because it essentially sits right there. Now, for some people, that might be the perfect thing they need to create stability and strengthen that wrist joint, but for other people, you might see them kind of hold it this way, which I consider incorrect, like their wrist is in huge extension and that's going to start grinding on their wrist a bit.
Mhm.
Um, so yes and no, like it depends how you hold the kettlebell and what you're doing. There's also this unique thing which you can hold the kettlebell bottoms up with the bell in the air and I'm holding the handle, and you can't do that with a dumbbell. And that's one of the best, most unique ways to train wrist stability, forearm, elbow, everything staying stacked and in line.
Mhm.
So that's one of my go-tos. Like I've gotten clients that are saying, "Oh, my wrists are weak. I feel like my grip is getting weak." And doing a bottoms up kettlebell carry or walk or just a hold, I
Yeah, that's
like that.
like a suitcase carry, right? So it's like, boom, you're up
Mhm.
here, and that's just not only good for probably your wrist stability, but also core, back. Like it's just
Yes.
keeping everything in line. Yeah.
Core to extremity, right? Like how much you
Mhm.
can brace your core to control the extremity under load. Yeah. And not to say you can't do some of those carries with a dumbbell, but again, the
Mhm.
weight distribution, that's what we come back to. There's something different about holding a kettlebell as opposed to a dumbbell. It's harder.
Very, 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 very different. Yes, for sure. So, as women who lift, you and I, and
Mm,
hopefully the folks that are watching, we still see that stigma. We talked a little bit about it of I don't want to be too bulky or too big. I want to take up less space, like you said, when it comes to strength training, which is I do. I find it super annoying because if you looked at the science of it, the more you work your muscle, the tighter your muscle is, the less space you're actually going to take up anyway. So yes, everything
exactly.
becomes smaller. So that's my methodology, but I want to know what your methodology is on getting people, women, men, whoever that are training with you strong AF, as you would say
Right. Yes.
it.
That's me.
Yes.
Yeah, you're always, gosh, whether you're a coach or just a woman who likes to work out and lift weights, I think you're always going to get suspicion or just like curiosity from other women that are like, "What do you mean you lift weights?" Like, and that concept of looking bulky or what it could do to your physique. I mean, I will say a lot of people don't want to hear is that a lot is determined by your genetics. Like I am someone, I've always had a petite body frame. There were times like back years ago in Chicago, I only cared about my physique. Like I wanted to grow my muscles, and have a certain physique. And
Mhm.
I gained a lot of muscle and a lot of like I looked lean and fit, but I could never get the body type I really, really wanted because of my genetics. And it just took me years to be like, okay, I'm going to focus on my strength and my performance as opposed to just crafting my body. But, that being said, I try to use weights as a way to educate and empower the women I work with to like you said, when you start adding strength training to your routine, the first thing that happens is everything gets a little tighter and firmer. Literally, your body, like you'll feel your muscles like get firmer and tighter. And that doesn't mean bulky, right? And it doesn't even mean that you're shedding a lot of weight or gaining a lot of weight. Your weight might literally stay the same. It's just the chemistry, like how your muscle tissue has adapted to the training you're doing. And whether your goals are to lose weight, to gain muscle, to change your body shape, to get stronger, weightlifting will always be the number one strategy for me to get there. And I mean, I like kettlebells because it combines the cardio with the core, with the strength, and the kind of variety that some people are looking for in the gym.
Awesome. So for a beginner, Michelle is asking a question.
Oh, great.
Oh, wait, she was not that one. Hold on. So she's talking about what's the best like number of pounds to start out with. She's, like I said,
Ooh.
she's a beginner.
When it comes to a kettlebell, you'll mostly see them in kilos as opposed to pounds. And I really think like most women would do great with a light kettlebell, like a 6 or an 8 kilo, which that translates to like 13 pounds is 6 kilos, or 18 pounds is 8 kilo. I think that's great for overhead. If you're trying to do presses, you're trying to do rows, like upper body strength training, I think that's a really good weight range to start with. However, our lower body can usually handle a lot more weight. And especially when I have folks doing kettlebell swings, I don't even like them to start with anything lighter than 18 pounds, 20 pounds, because you need a bit of that resistance, right? If it's too light, you end up swinging the kettlebell through the roof. You don't have enough resistance to work with, you know? So
I'm visualizing that. I'm like, wait, if it's too light, oh no, there goes the kettlebell.
Seriously, I mean, they're a form. And I've only seen people drop it when it's like we're doing something else where it's like around the world where you're passing it. Luckily, no one's swung and thrown a kettlebell in my gym, luckily. But yeah, I think for lower body, you could go more in that 20 to 30 pound range. Like women, really, you don't need anything lighter than 13 pounds, in my opinion, and you don't need anything heavier than like 30 pounds to really get started.
Awesome. All right. She said that makes sense. Good deal. All right. So new year, better you, right? So what tips do you have for folks that are just getting into the strength training or they want to try kettlebell training for the first time outside of the kilos and whatnot?
You know, I think January is tough for everyone. Like I almost like look at like February as the month to really start the year. I don't know why I got accustomed to that. But yes, I'm in that vein. Like, okay, we have a new year. How do we get started? I think, first of all, classes, like if you can kind of vet the coach ahead of time, I think group classes are a great way to start. Like I used to love the Les Mills body pump classes because it taught people, especially women, how to weight lift, you know? Other than that though, look at the internet is at our fingertips. Like I'm on Instagram, other coaches are on Instagram. Google is there, but I think social media is a better way to like get inspiration, see workouts. Oh, that says that workouts for a beginner. Let me click that. You know, there's so much free content out there in the world these days that you really, if you had the self-motivation and self-discipline, you really could be pretty self-taught. And I realize I'm saying that as a coach and I want you to hire me, right? Which is why I put out content. Like if there are people at home that are like, I don't want to hire a trainer. I don't have it in my budget, but I want to do workouts. But other than that, if you want to get involved with kettlebells, I think for something that specific, you should hire a kettlebell coach. You know, it's just like if you want to get into Olympic barbell lifting, you should hire a coach that knows how to do Olympic lifting. I don't think teaching yourself how to do a kettlebell swing or like a barbell snatch, I think that's just too extreme of a movement. You can teach yourself how to squat, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like a ballistic movement, I think you need to hire a coach because that's where the risk of injury starts to go up.
Yeah, I feel the same, especially with the compound movements, powerful movements that you're doing. There's more, even because you say squatting, but even squatting people do incorrectly. And that, they're like,
sure.
oh, wait, what happened? I pulled something and I don't know how I did it. Well, it's probably because you were doing something incorrectly. Just as simple as squatting. So
I guess when I say squatting, I'm imagining body weight squats. Like I'm like, hopefully you're not going to injure yourself too bad with a body weight squat.
So I'm at the age where I cough and or sneeze and I blow something.
Oh, no.
I pull something. Yeah, I'm at that age. I'm like, oh, I just
I've
coughed too
heard
hard.
that. Literally, I've heard that, like someone sneezing and then they pull their back out. That's
Yes.
crazy, right?
Yes. Yeah, it happens. Absolutely.
Wild.
So any other kind of tips you would have for folks outside of some classes? Check out definitely your IG, and you're under
I'm Kettlebell
Kettlebellitrix. So we'll put that
Kettlebell
in the
Queen.
feed to make sure
Yeah.
that you guys can get her IG handle. And you're on YouTube, or you on Facebook? Any of your handles, we'll make sure we put in the feed so that
Thank
folks
you.
can kind of like check out what she's doing and whatnot. And yes, Nikki has a ton of videos out there. She's got a podcast. She's got great things. I was watching some of your videos also on just the technique of how to do stuff, because again, I have the kettlebell that I have is because I have a lot of Bowflex dumbbells.
Yeah.
So I have a Bowflex machine. So I have two Bowflex dumbbells, and so the kettlebell that I have is also a clickable kettlebell. So
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Those are cool.
Yeah, so I kind of use that, just to take the plates out, put them in, depending on
Yeah.
what weight I'm wanting to use and stuff like that. But I was like, I want at least one to be able to do something out there with it. But yeah,
How does
it's
it
just
feel when you hold it on the racked position? Does that feel comfortable?
so to be honest with you, the one that I have that has the adjustable plates is not as friendly with my hand and wrist
That's what
than
I would have
the actual regular kettlebells. The regular
agreed.
kettlebells, you can just grab those, find your weight, and then boom, it's definitely easier to hold into position, because I do have wrist issues all the
Right.
time, even with the dumbbells. And so using it in the correct position and making sure that I'm not straining, it's better to just have the solid basic kettlebell than the plated one.
I fully agree. I wondered that because with the plated one, I was like, okay, you can hold it goblet style and do squats,
Mm-hmm.
no problem. You could probably do kettlebell swings, no problem. But I wondered, I was like, ooh, that looks uncomfortable to
Mm-hmm.
hold in a front rack position.
Yeah, it's because it's bulky. That's the biggest
Right.
thing. So I have Jane over here. She says I have bursitis in my rotator cuff, and would this help strengthen it back up?
Ooh. Gosh. Listen, that's tricky because this is
Mm-hmm.
where I would definitely refer and check in with a physical therapist. Like, let's say you came to me, Jane, and you want to train. I'd be like, all right, Jane, let me check in with my PT friend. Because yes, in the short phrase, like in a nutshell, we can always help you with strength training. Sometimes when there's shoulder rotator cuff issues, it's a sign you're doing too much of something pressing wise, and you probably need to do a bit more pulling wise. So, like, we can get into positions to give you that strength and whatnot. But I'm also a big fan of like, let's ask a physical therapist. Like, they are so much smarter about certain aspects of the body than I am, especially when it comes to like a pain or an injury, a tendonitis issue, a bursitis. So the answer is yes, but I'd also want to check in with a PT to make sure.
To double check. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I appreciate it so much for you coming out and chatting with
Oh,
me, my fellow New
absolutely.
Yorker.
Yes.
I can't believe it. It's so funny. You peel those layers back and it's like, oh, yep, yay.
And there's like a certain bond, like I call it Northeastern neuroticism, but like we talk fast, we think fast, like there is something about that for
Yes, we're
sure.
a little loud and obnoxious sometimes. It happens. It happens. If I see you in person ever, it'll be like that. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
yes.
And then everybody will look and they're like, oh, what is that?
Like, oh,
it's a thing.
they're
It's a
from New
thing.
York.
Yeah.
Oh, one
It's
of
a
my
thing.
good friends, my kettlebell partners, is from New Jersey. And so I'm like, you got a
From
New Yorker
Jersey.
and a New Jersey, and she's very Jersey. And whenever we coach together, we're loud, we're talking over each other, we're
Hmm.
cussing a little
Hmm.
bit. And I'm like, I mean, you got New York and New Jersey in the room. This is what's going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they have a disclaimer. That's all I can say, right? I've already let you guys know. So that's it.
Exactly. I've done my part. Okay.
Exactly.
I
Well,
love
thank
it.
you again. Is there anything
Yes.
else you'd like to add?
No, I mean, I really just like to end on the note of like, hey, kettlebell training, strength training is for everybody. It's all about getting stronger and feeling confident in your body, right? Like I try not to, I don't harp on weight loss unless
Mhm.
some that feels important to someone. Just like I don't harp on like, hey, I don't think you're able to do this movement because you have this injury or you're this old, like I just see what can we get done. And so I like it. Like I like connecting with other women that are like, yeah, weightlifting is important. It's important as we age. It's important for our bone density, our muscle tissue. It's just important to like get stronger and maintain a level of strength, right? So I think it's cool. That's why we connect. That's how we bond is like you see other women. That's why you reached out to me. You see other women who are weightlifting and you're like, yes, that's so badass. I feel inspired watching you. So yeah, that's if I can do a little part in this world of like empowering and educating other women, I feel like I can rest in peace, so to speak. Like that's what it's about for me.
Heck yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
It's not about, okay, so if there's one thing we can get out there in 2024, ladies and guys too, it's not
Yeah,
about
guys
weight
too.
loss necessarily. How about we get just strong as AF?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
get strong.
Let's
Strong
just get
is the new
strong.
skinny. I mean, haven't we been saying that forever? Let's get strong,
For
and then
sure, for
you'll
sure.
see everything else like fall into place after that. So
Yeah, it literally
let's just do
changes
that.
your confidence. Like I think as I see people get stronger in the gym, they feel stronger in life. It's remarkable.
Mhm. Yeah, for sure, for sure. Well, thank you again. Before I let you go, I like to do with all my guests a just for fun speed round. So, are you ready to go?
Oh boy. Okay, yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go.
All right. What is the craziest thing you've heard in your years of strength training?
Oh my God. I think I'm gonna say that weightlifting makes you bulky. I think that's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna harp on that again. Okay.
Yes.
Straight as strong as the new
It
skinny,
can make
and
you bulky if you want.
stop saying it's bulky. Yeah, if you
Yeah,
want, but I mean,
but
if
that's
you're
like
gonna
if
lift
you
it,
want. It's like it's just like if you want to get thinner with weightlifting, you can get thinner with weightlifting.
hmm
I don't
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. So, okay, for my strength training queen, so what's your favorite cardio machine or cardio thing to do?
You know what I've been loving lately is the row machine, like a a rower.
hmm
I mean, it's very hard to master the technique and feel your body working, but man, oh man, I love it for myself. I love it for my clients. I think it's a great piece of machinery.
It is, and it's doesn't take up a whole lot of space in your gym, at
Exactly.
least in mine. So I have a row machine in my garage because I
Nice.
love that thing. Yeah, I love it.
Yes.
So it's one of my favorites also. All right, so when you're not strength training, what is your favorite thing to do?
I've been really enjoying just reading. Like I'm trying to do more of where I sit quietly and I just read a book. It could be fiction. I read all sorts of books about exercise and business all the time, but just reading. I'm just trying to read more.
Yeah, that's on my list. I've got a few books already in the queue, but love it.
Yeah, that's
All
my
right, so
me.
yes, for sure. So favorite junk food craving?
You know what I've been craving a lot lately is like just like some
Entenmann's. Don't
salty.
even lie. Entenmann's.
No, no, not even. I was never that bit. When I crave, I'm not a sweet tooth craver. I'm like a salty. Like I just love chips. Like I like everything from like the healthy, quote unquote healthy, like vegetable sweet potato chips to like
Uh-huh.
Doritos nacho cheese. Like just chips. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
but that's the danger. It's like you can't stop. You just can't stop. So
Yeah, so
yeah,
you have the salty. I have both. So
I got
I
the
yeah.
salty.
Yeah, I have both. I'm like donuts, chips. Yeah, we're good.
I'm more into ice cream than donuts. Like a Ben and Jerry's pint. Oh my God. Like, yes.
No. I'm lactose
No?
now, so yeah, no. I
Oh, there you
mean,
go.
back in the day I would have liked ice cream, but not anymore. So I can't.
And listen, the non-dairy ice creams are just not satisfying.
They're not good.
So
Let's
I
just
can
be real. They're
imagine.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
no. They're
You
terrible.
don't
It's
even
all good.
feel good after eating it. Yeah.
No, it's not. Everything tastes like I like coconut milk, but everything tastes like coconut milk.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not that big of a fan. So when I'm in the mood for coconut milk or coconut flavors in the summertime, that's awesome. But if I want something like
Agreed.
hearty, it's not working for me. But yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Nikki. Well, I appreciate it. For everybody else, thank
Oh,
you so much.
nice.
Have a great weekend,
Thank
and
you
we'll
so
see you guys
much.
next week. Thank you.
All right.
Take
Thank you,
care,
Sue.
guys.
Looking forward to it. Have a good one. Bye, guys.
Bye.